Okay, ready?
I'm not ready.
Okay.
Just chill
Yeah.
out.
Alright, yo. Let Chris go.
Yeah, guys, quiet. Abby, stop.
Okay, ready?
No.
Contention towards organ trafficking presumed to open effective legal action for obtaining organs circumventing the harms of black market glacier explains the causal link. PC's best method of legally obtaining organs country species that are higher rate for organs in the country's allowed demand will not legally people will have less incentive to legally obtain organs in the black market would diminish the actual alternatives to not solve PC's uniquely key glacier 2. The community has not responded adequately to the problem organ trafficking offering weak important policy. Few prosecutions much remains to be done to eliminate illegal organ trafficking. PC's best method of increasing the impact of organ trafficking is staggering illegal organ trading puts patient well-being at extreme risk. Somity. The recipients of illegal trading legal organs tend to fare worse than those that receive legal those trading organs broader at a high risk of tract disease, sanitation organs, robbery starts significantly low. These statistics find even underestimate risk as the days enrolled with survived by those not survive the procedure, often not including studies. But additionally, the dubious nature of illegal organ treatment means that there are many scams. In 2010, psychiatrists offered false promises of transplants in the Philippines while taking over $400,000 from the Philippines. Also, even if you no neg RVIs because of time scaling foreign from 7 and 3 months to 6 had say 6 month difference. So that means that any arguments that you talk about are offset by time scale. So that that's also yeah.
Yeah, you had no at neg RBIs earlier in the AC.
Yeah, you don't need to reread.
Yeah, I know. I just
Process.
I just felt like doing more
That's what happened.
fucking shit, Adam.
Yeah, fucking shit, Adam.
Just
shit, fucking shit.
Don't worry, I did that like
Start
4
time,
times.
start
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Alright,
Yes.
what now?
I got
Start
these.
process.
Now?
Yeah, go.
Alright.
Yo,
guys,
stop
shut
talking,
up!
guys.
Alright. Alright, so walk me through the theory, Sean.
Okay,
Right on the
so
camera.
the first theory shows that the aft that has to defend an opt-in out. The aft defends an opt-out, and the neg must and that the neg must defend an opt-in system.
And then how do you justify that? What's the warrant?
So the warrant is ground because this divides ground most evenly. That's the ODT card because the center is clapped.
Where's ODT card? Show me that.
Right here at the top of the state.
Continue.
Okay, and it talks about how consent and the idea of consent, whether or not you get to opt out or opt in, is a correlate topic. That means that the majority of the ground that I derive is from the ability to actually defend presumed consent, whether or not you can actually.
How do you
opt out
determine
or
if
opt in.
something's in the court of the topic? Like, did you read every single piece of evidence from in the top court? Is that?
No, this specifically talks about what presumed consent is. So ideally, if we're debating about presumed consent, then the idea of presumed consent is talking about
Alright,
consent.
and what's the second shell?
The second shell is that the neg must spend a status quo opt-in organ procurement.
Wait,
And,
like status quo opt-in, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the one? Where's the one?
The warrant. There are 2 standards. First is predictability because they're
Where?
right here.
Yeah.
Because there are infinite number of potentially viable alternatives. The B point is ground. The B point is ground. Oh, sorry, not ground. Strategy because then you can just pick any advocacy that you try to AC offense, such as like encryption or something.
Alright, that's fine. Alright. Then walk me through your a priori Schwartz.
I don't have operator reasons.
A priori reasons. Schwartz. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Alright. Alright. So walk me through the warrant for McCord. Like I'm not getting
Sure.
why.
So McCord says that if we value our own happiness, then we also have to value other people's
Why?
happiness.
No, like why?
Because if we have reason to think that we value our own pain, our own pleasure, and our own pain, we have reason to think that other people probably experience those same experiences, meaning that we have to value others as well.
Wait, how does that correlate?
Because if we value,
Wait, no, because what?
because if we value our own, then we probably would know that other people experience.
Then we probably would know. Do we know for sure?
Okay.
So you're presupposing that we know these are
Okay, so here's the argument. The argument is that you respond equally in response to other people. And if I stab you right now, you'll definitely experience pain. And also, the Nagel card specifically says in the absence of the notion that pain is good, then we automatically give the assumption that pain is bad.
That's fine. All right, then. Alright, where's the warrant for Florida?
Sure. So Florman just says that presumed consent. It's just additional warrant for why presumed consent is effective. It just says that it'll increase organs. The empiric within that is that within presumed consent countries, only 5% of people will actually opt out, which means that it'll definitely increase organ supply.
Alright, so where are they getting that information from?
What do you mean?
Where is the information coming from in Florida?
I don't know, like studies that he did.
Studies that he's done. Okay.
Yeah.
So these aren't empiric. Alright, that's fine.
How are they not empiric?
No, that's fine. That's fine. Alright, we're in traffic. Walk me through Glacier.
Yeah, starting prep.
Yeah. Sorry.
Alright.
So Glacier says that.
Keep asking the question, yeah.
So Glacier says that presumed consent is the best method of increasing organs because it circumvents the harms of the black market because people are disincentivized to continue the black market if they have increasing organs because then people will not look to the black markets and means of getting their organs.
Alright, that's fine. Pause time. My computer's just logging in.
What?
I'm not gonna do anything.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm just.
Do you need your computer to ask questions?
No, I'm done asking questions.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I'm just,
yeah.
yeah.
Fine as possible.
Microsoft's saying.
It does. Look at this. It's still logging in. Jesus.
Microsoft Sam will now finish the questions. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Chris.
Alright, okay, starting prep. Your computer.
Yeah, starting prep.
Yeah, that's fine. So,
1:30.
how much prep time? Can you read off every 30 seconds? That's perfect.
Chris, go on Facebook.
I swear to God.
I swear to God, Westy, what the hell?
No, it's okay.
Yeah, dude.
It's okay? Okay. Alright, that's fine.
Okay.
No, it's fine. Alright, I'm still on that. So slow, Jesus Christ. Alright. Intentional voicing for the body gay 1 and 2.
Yeah, sure. So body and gay says that when other terms are accounted for, a presumed consent is found to increase the overall donation rates. This is most definitely proven. This is definitely causation, not correlation.
Why?
Because it says when other terms are accounted for, that presumed consent is definitely.
What are these other terms?
Determinants. I
What
mean,
are
like
these
other
other
factors
terms?
are accounted for that it's still.
Okay, so do you have like a whole list of like every single determinant that he went through?
That's irrelevant. Whether or not you have a list of determinants, you still know that.
So then how do you
whether-
Jesus Christ, that's fine. Alright. And how do you maximize it?
Sure. So I maximize the expected well-being that by guaranteeing that people who are currently dying on an organ wait list are going to make sure that they don't die.
So you're gonna stop all of them from dying.
I'd say like it's like a very significant amount. My argument is that we want to increase our donation rates and save as many lives as possible. So that best avenue for doing that is through consent.
It's 1.7.
What?
How so?
Because they can increase our organ
Alright.
Some like
Do
random
you advocate for a donation system? Or
What do you mean?
like, do you spec between donation and scientific research?
Scientific.
Just 50 seconds of prep left.
Okay, well, I don't. If you want me to defend one, I will, but I will not do it just because you want a theory violation. If you want to have substantive debate, that's fine. So, like, if you say I have to defend transplant, and then you read theory for me defending transplant, that's just like really bad and not educational at all.
Really bad.
So
Says Chris.
Also, he's probably gonna read theory on that.
Alright.
22 seconds left.
That's it. Pause.
All right.
Alright.
22 seconds
He's
left.
gonna give the best one.
Let's go.
All right. What's the order?
The order's gonna be Neg, Caroline, then.
You can take it.
Okay, so.
Alright, guys, stop talking, alright?
Okay, guys, shut up.
NC counterplan AC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
All right.
You want me to flow the two on the same dock or?
Fill them separately.
Alright. Speed, guys, speed.
Yeah.
Chris, you can take less of cross if you
Be
want.
sure to be
Yeah, I
clear
probably
when
should
you
do that.
uh,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. So start when you're ready.
Yeah, just start, guys. Come on, start.
Wesley, your time.
is designed to achieve the which from which implies I value morality. One, permissible engagement because the resolution words like all normative obligation, all action, or permissible renders the phrase nonsensical, and the resolution gives will resolve which means to decide from the course of action permissible as the strength of the term resolved immediately necessary reason from the decided weakness. There's no possible reason to come of it. Then this comes from other from flows from the nature of how a resolution where the question of the structure must necessarily precede the question of the substance on the logically primacy level. Then you must presume negatives by the act of the burden of proof that they can prove something that true in the instance of the presumption the act has not given the resolution and the negative disproven so you can negate and prefer substantive reason to presume it if I win anything on the resolution is fault in the debate is in the tie I did the better debating. Then, framework. 1. Motivational altruism is true for 2 reasons. First, morality is true and the reason to act. If morality doesn't give a reason to act, it wouldn't have an obligation or meaning as far as only internally motivation can provide a reason to act because it gives an inherent beings, and also externalism, which creates morality through the reason towards others, have an obligation on our own issues, but then doesn't ground in morality, and externalism devolves into internalism because externalism gives us a reason to act independent of other reasons, and the external reason can tell us to do with that internal motivation. And ethics must be internally motivating. Young writes that this passion requires one the abstract of desire, pull, and feeling commitment, however feels, desire and the commitment do not
Louder.
They lurk at the inarticulate shadows, and desires of people can be merely subjective, and no one can adopt the point of view as completely impersonal, and the impartial view is a view of nowhere. This means A, any ethical theory must account for the motivation that they are in the universally featured across agents, and B, even if the AF justifies an ethical theory is good by motivation that the side constraint is even if there's something like deontological uses and true motivating the source of normativity for the individual. Therefore, the meta-ethic for the round is motivational internalism. Contractarianism is the only ethical theory that is consistent with motivational internalism, the theory that we make mutual restraints on our self-interest with others. Gauthier writes that moral principle, objectives and distinguished by the situation and concerns that they agree to constraints of their choice, that they acknowledge the distinction between what they may or may not do, and the agents and the structure of the interaction recognize a place of mutual constraint in the moral dimension in their affairs. Therefore, the only ones that have an obligation to mutual restraints is in mutual benefits and not obligation or respect to which we have no intent to take action. Thus, the standard for the round is consistency with contractarian system of mutual restraints. I contend that in order to make contractual agreements true, we must negate first. Under contractarianism, all agents must be equal under resolution. If the negative is that the agent will be unequal in the resolution, we cannot take action and we cannot affirm. Under presuming that the government has no reason to obligate the grieving families has deceased family members, this places the government on a higher platform than the family that coerces them to take organs under contractarianism. This is in moral sense. There's no equal platform in the two-party agreement, and the government is able to steal these organs under presuming consent, placing them above all families in this just society. And 2, under presuming consent, the government is also coercing the dead to give their organs for procurement. This is impossible for the dead to give their ideas, and presuming consent, they will always have their organs procured from them. This places the government on a higher platform in this agreement. And 3, the dead are always going to be on an unequal footing with the living because they have no decision to the places that they place, and they are on completely different platforms and are coerced to presume consent. Thus, you negate. On to the counterplan. Start at the top. Counterplan takes implementation of a market system instead of presumed consent system. Casterman writes that under a market system, organ supplies will be offered a market price, but the procurement of the permission to leave the organs at death, and the firms will sell the organs to transplant centers. The resale price will equal the price paid by the donor plus the cost of the firm. This will be covered by the specific equivalent, i.e., the end stage disease center for the kidney transplant, the recipient's insurance company. Once the organs are purchased, and the center would allocate them to recipients in the same fashion that they are today. Then, organ market is better than presumed consent system. Cashman writes out under these tools of economic analysis and procurement policy. We express donation, presumed consent, and routine request and referral in a single policy option. Combining the policies leaves an organ market. The legal price of the express donation alternative is 0, and the resulting quantity is low, and the market prices rise way higher than the quantity exceeds the majority, and the calculation of the resulting levels of surplus under the policy reveals an unambiguous increase in overall societal welfare with the adoption of a organ markets proposal. And organ markets decrease prices of organs. Cashman 3 writes that markets reduce the cost of the treatment of dialysis more costly than kidney transplant, and the cost of treating renal failure is a third of the party. But the cost of is footed by organ markets. The cost is paid by a third of the party, not by patients. The additional price of organs for the bill of transplantation cannot exclude low-income patients. Then, organ markets will help regulate black market. Cashman 4 writes that limit their proposal to the cadaver organ market is cited as a virtue of the market alternative. Declining need for the donors will follow the increase in the number of organs supplied in the market. The price of organs are low in the market in the organs will drive out any market in organs. And donors because of the higher cost, and with the while live donor transplants will be performed because of improved rates. The bulk of them will be related to donors, and the active market is not related, and the organs may not materialize even if the market were not prescribed. Okay, we'll start at the top of these. Starting at the top, I won't bite into the shell. Sure, I'll advocate for a status quo optimum system. That's fine. I'll concede to that. And we both agree on value and morality. So at the end of the day, it's going to break down to who in the values debate. Who is better achieving our definitively our value of morality? So then start on the standard. Well, actually, to first start on rates from the operative reasoning. All right. So extend. Cross apply Gauthier to that argument, looking at the fact that inherently our a priori is going to be flawed insofar as we looked at it negatively, looking at the fact that inherently, we had to put mutual restraints on that doesn't matter insofar as we're looking at the fact that this a priori reasoning inherently means that we have to, associate displeasure with others. That doesn't make sense. Then let's go down to the contention level. Actually, no. Now stay up on Sarah McCord. So he doesn't give me a clear one for Sarah McCord, right? So all he's saying is, right. So I was saying for Sarah was quite that because Asians value their own pleasures, they're inherently going to value the pleasures of others. Doesn't make sense. He's not giving me a clear warrant for that in cross-examination. I asked him multiple times, like, okay, what is the warrant? Like, why is that true? Why is that true? He doesn't give me a clear warrant, right? Like, he's saying that, okay, yeah, we have to value each other's pain because we like can associate these pains with others. Like, that doesn't inherently make sense. Like, why ought I care about someone's other pain? Like, if I were to stab Wesley and if Wesley were to stab someone else, like, he inherently knows the sensation of being able to stab others. That doesn't inherently mean that I like relate with him. That doesn't make sense. Okay, let's move down to the contention level. First of all. Organ trafficking goes contention to argument. He doesn't. First of all, preemptive argument is that he's not going to be able to bite insofar as I'm better regulating the black market. Even beyond that, I'm giving you a better market system by which we can advocate for the rights and therein the transplantation of organ donors. At the point of that's true, normally speaking, I need a comparative. Even beyond that, the counter plan is more often garners more often doesn't bite. So then, look at the cases as a whole. So you're looking to perform my contention insofar as I'm giving you a contract opinion must negate. You're looking at the fact that any argument that he tries to negate. You're looking at the fact that at the point at which I'm showing you that there's a clear unequal footing, at the point at which that's true, that's a clear negative balance in the contention level of argumentation. You're looking at the fact that all three of the arguments are clearly justified so far. I'm giving you a metric by which you can evaluate how the half families are going to be on an unequal platform in terms of government. You're looking at the fact that when the government is going to be able to stand above them, and you're looking at the fact that when they're being forced and coerced to give up these organs to their dead relatives and their dead individuals, you look at the fact that that's inherently immoral, but even beyond that, the unequal footing is a clear neg ballot. Then, overview to the round is how it's going to break down to who, so on the framework it's going to break down to who's better achieving the value of morality, but even beyond that, down the contention level, you look at the fact that I'm better winning on contention level. Even beyond that, if, I don't bite into his shells, so I clearly spec it in there and opt in for it. An opt-in status quo system. Thus I urge a negative ballot.
Okay, starting to travel this guy to
Go.
you said that you meet the shell at the top of the AC. How do you defend how is a market system an opt-in system?
What do you mean?
How is your counterplan an opt-in system?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Okay, so you say, do you know what an opt-in system is?
Sure.
Okay, an opt-in system says that people. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you. So you automatically have the default assumption that people that people do not want to donate their organs, and in the absence of such thing, that they say. Okay, so here's what an opt-in system is. An opt-in system is that the default assumption is that people do not want to donate their organs. And in order to actually donate their organs, they need to go out of their way and actually donate their organs. How is a market system consistent with that?
What do you mean by consistent?
How is a market system an opt-in system?
Okay, so you want to see a correlation there? Sure, yeah. Okay, so like in the market system, like you inherently have to like give up organs and you say like, okay, I'll give these organs like to you guys and then third party going over there, but they're distributed now.
Okay, Andrew. Also, do you have any permissibility triggers in the NC?
What do you mean?
Things that will, okay, okay, yeah. So let's say I don't put any responses on your contentions at all. What happens then?
What do you mean?
Okay, so let's say you have reasons why you presume neg at the top. Let's say I presume I prove that your contentions are false and your framework is false. Well, can you still trigger presumption? Can you still trigger this permissibility argument?
I mean, what do you mean in that sense? Like,
I mean that in the okay, let's say you lose the entire NC except permissibility and presumption. What can you still win off those two?
you mean like, in what circumstance would that happen? What do you think?
Okay, it's fine. It doesn't really matter. I don't really care. Okay. All right. Do you have like any responses to the? You have one response to the 4th paragraph theory shells that I read in the. Okay, right? Do you have any reasons why you do not violate the neg must defend a status quo opt-in system?
I'm already defending it, so that's why I stated that.
Okay, where in your case do you say that you defend a status quo opt-in system in a specific country that does opt-in system, that does the opt-in
Wait, what do you mean?
Okay, so you should have clarified this in cross-check. The interpretation.
No, I didn't hear you.
Okay, well that's just okay. That's well, I passed you pages, and you took 4 minutes prep time. So, did you clarify to me? Did you clarify in cross-check what a status quo opt-in system working coherent means?
Indefinitely.
Okay, that's fine. Do you specify a specific country anywhere when you read it, when your counterplan and your NC? Which country you want to enact opt-in?
Wait, what do you mean?
Do you have anywhere in the NC or the counterplan where you say specifically what opt-in system you will defend that happens in the status quo right now that a specific country does?
Not following here.
Okay, that's fine. Alright. Okay. Okay. I have 56 things.
AC.
It's 46 actually.
Okay.
The order will be AC, NC.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because
You have one response to these 4 paragraphs reached from the top of the AC, so extend the interpretation the name of an option system or computer, but you are not even defending this in the B function, you are not even defending this in that kind of counterclaim, it's on an option system, you don't allow, you don't take the default assumptions people do not want to do your organs, but you only take the default assumption that you just see that people you have your organ states no matter what means that you this gets your only response to these 4 paragraphs from the top of the AC, so extend ground this, ground was thinking clash was thinking about the top of this idea from this C6 and that just keep for fairness because the form space arguments also voters for instance because I'm for urban charges you are should be executed voter because still names for the stupid drop later ages and since major so less likely run these programs should be so we actually about to promote which really everything should be our arguments that spend my time but tweeting your favorite something compare argument based on should be used for browser recently there's a reason why it's usually the key to you should see even if you use for browser the best browser is an often see with one because it determines to be on meters merit which means that you are losing right there also Now extend the second interpretation name is many SAS swap or you should have clarified this mean cross this meaning you have a specific access text specifically talks about what country actually defend that does inform or does often you don't actually have anything you don't need to defend a specific country that actually does this which means you rather than shell and this is a matter of drop meter which means it's game over right now but also extend response because you and then extend because otherwise ancient number of tension while deterrence is key for instance because of course means pre-round prep also extend draft because you can just exactly stripped out the AC and of course they want to restart this key friends because you need to learn strategy between cross by the voters and red also extend the third interpretation that must be more that is morally permissible this excludes all your principal arguments from that you cannot actually trigger permissibility or you can actually trigger permissibility at all in the NC. And I think sometimes the red process because it gives us arguments can't be linked to like they can't be linked to like morality just exists. Key to because it ensures that you black spell. Also now go to the RPIs. Extend the RPI counter or if I make terms it means that even if you read 200 QI it will still win speed. Also this speaks serial 6 minutes speed time. Also extend that you presume after user structural excuse this means that this is a conceded argument which travels away always your argument insert strength link because ready to respond and so I'll get to your presumption arguments later. Next. Extend short side vacuum, we can actually reach between physical experiences to actually dream reach knowledge you say the guardian card that takes out, but I'm not even talking about arguments, I'm just talking about how you have to actually drive your sense of morality from experience. Also extend the eagle that ignorance sounds pain is bad and pleasure is good and the absence of pain is good and we operate in default assumption that's bad. This means you automatically default to utilitarian values that also you're also the Sarah McCord argument that sense of value own happens to also value other people's happiness otherwise can't respect my own and if you're conceiving the eagle argument says you have to value your own happiness and you also giving Sarah McCord your only response is there's nowhere but I just send the word and go to condition 1. Extend a body data that presumes at least 26% time to higher dimension because this is directly talking about causation, not correlation. We see that which means that this is a clear relation. This is why I think towards better. Also extend the analytical HRSA, but it said life and death comes impacts life and death comes through because when you be alive before you experience potential with like autonomy means that even if you have contrary theory principles and they see utilitarian utilitarianism principles still come through its next extent. Glacier and connection 2. That participants also black market because less than 7 people actually legally in order to say you better than the black market. But my theory to the top of the AC exclude your counterclaim which means you have no opportunity. You have no opportunity to greatest community AC which is that utilitarian values. Next, go to the counterclaim. I'm sorry, the NC. All presume neg, all said C burden, first trust you scout way because if I can even respond to that, I don't mean my burden first week, but secondly, you even prove what it is my burden to actually prove the resolution. My burden is to prove, I'm doing that, also you are conceding literally all the contentions and all the theory shells, so repeat, so you will not presume anyway. Okay.
You have 24 seconds of prep.
Alright, start now. Alright, so you really want to start.
No, I didn't.
So
I just extended the AC.
so that's it.
I made
Rapidly chopping away from all the best.
Wait for your shells.
So I didn't read. Okay, so the first interp is neg must defend opt-in. Second interp is neg must defend status quo. Opt-in. Third interp is neg must prove it's morally impermissible.
That's it?
Yeah.
So how does that exclude the CP?
Because the first argument excludes because you don't defend the system. The second argument excludes because you can't defend status quo. Opt-in. System. Yeah.
I did it sarcastically. SIEG. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, you're 25 seconds over prep. So yeah, it's starting now.
Yeah, no prep. NR starting now.
Alright. Start on the counterplan, sure. Kick out the counterplan, that's fine. I then start on the top of the NC, from the topics and down around. At this point in the round, we're going to be allowing around, but you can go on that. Alright, so you can kick out permissibility and presumption at that point. Look to motivational trips for that frame rate over everything else. You're looking at the two justifications that he drops in the round. So first extend, the first justification for that morality provides us with a reason to act, but you can go on that. We're looking at that only motivational trips provides a reason to act because at the point which that's true, inherently like, these extra motivations that he's trying to provide in this case, like through utilitarianism, inherently don't work. So Young gives a clear insight to that. So cross apply Young to his frame rate. Looking at the fact that Young gives us fact when we desire that people become merely subjective, looking at the fact that no one can adopt a view that is more impersonal than impartial views comes from nowhere. At the point in which that's true, inherently the AF needs to justify, even if the AF tries to justify what she does in ethical theory that is good through motivation and side constraint, even beyond that. This is a side constraint that he needs to meet on. If he doesn't meet on that or doesn't have to, then in case that's a clear framework follow up, but even beyond that. Let's go down and let's go motivational truth. How we realize how we go to what are you saying? How we go to like a normative justification, like a normatively justified like a framework, looking at the fact that motivational truth comes prior to everything else. At the point that true contractual is the only ethical theory that's consistent with motivational truth. At the point at which I'm winning on that, you're looking at the framework and needs to compare to making on that. Well, the theory will make you mutual restraints to others. You can extend go to again. Looking at the fact that at the point at which I'm extending argumentation, you're seeing a clear framework when right there. You can beyond that. Let's go down to contentional level. First, start on the stand. Actually, first then extend it out to the contrarian system of mutual restraints. Then go down to contentional first. Extend the 1, 2, and 3 points. We're looking at the fact that on the first point, we're looking at the fact that you extend the first point. You're looking at the fact that at the point at which we're putting people on an unequal platform in the round, insofar as we're looking at the fact that we're inherently disenfranchising these people from their own bodies. At the point at which that's true, we're inherently stealing it. At the point at which that's true, you're looking at the fact that we're putting them on unequal platforms. I give you a clear reasoning and logic behind why at that point, if he drops this argument, then yeah, inherently negates at the point which that's a neg ballot. So extend that argument. Clear neg ballot right there. But even beyond that, go to the second point. Extend the second point insofar as presumed consent is government coercing the debt. I give clear justification for this and logic behind why this is a clear neg ballot with these 3 arguments. He drops all 3 of them at the point of stress normatively. That's a neg ballot. But even beyond that, go down to the third point. The third point go show is clear insight insofar as the debt are on unequal footings and the living since they have no decision in place in a completely different platform because they're not able to make a decision in this moral way. At the point of which that's true. 3 points, major points insofar as I give clear logic. I give him clear. I give him one I give him one rebuttal time to go over this argument so far as he doesn't go over it. Yeah, he had the opportunity to don't let him bring it up in the next speech. And don't let him bring it up. Any of the affirmation arguments in the next speech, so far as he fails to adjudicate clearly rebut all of them. As much as that's true, extends the argument. Then let's go to the AC. Okay, that's fine. Starting from the top 5, we both can see the value of morality is better achieving it. Okay, so got the action at the point which that's true. I'm better meeting on morality insofar as I'm showing you that contractuals when they're in motivational internalism better links into morality. At the point which that's true, I'm winning on the values of insofar as I'm showing you that it clearly links in beyond that. I've been able to extend it or in there and cross apply all my arguments against me. At the point which that's true, I'm winning on the frame of the day. But even beyond that, in comparison to his contention levels, you're looking at the fact that inherently his contention level arguments do not matter. I give you a clear spec in the first point under the contention level that shows you that insofar as it doesn't matter. You're looking to the point at which it doesn't matter. His frame, my frame comes, and there in my contention level needs to compare to his. We're looking at the fact that under the first point under my contention level, you can cross apply to his entire contention level and the notion of the case as a whole. You're looking at the fact that under contractualism, all agents must be equal in the resolution, and the negatives of the agents will be unequal in the resolution. We cannot take action because we cannot affirm therein at the point at which that's true. Normally speaking, my contention normally comes prior to. So, all right, then let's go to his offs. So essentially the engineer who had powers of the offices insofar as we're looking normally, I'm not being abused insofar as I kick out of it, and inherently I'm not bringing that office back in the ground insofar as I'm not valuing the shells. Then that inherently means that those 3 shells, I'm not butting into them insofar as I clearly spec in my case. I clearly read out that I would defend a system of argument insofar as he wanted me to. At the point of which that's true, normally speaking, I'm not butting into any of these 3 shells. At the point of which that's true, normally speaking, I'm not losing on those shells. You cannot tell me that I'm biting it. Then, as an overview to the round, okay. Starting from the top, we're looking to the fact that on the framework from here, it's better who's better achieving round, but even beyond that, I'm better linking in the motivational terms, and even beyond that, I still have better around that predetermined what ethical thing we're going to be normally looking at the point of that's true, and I'm coming prior to, but even beyond that, looking at the fact that Young gives clear takeouts to his case, looking at the fact that you need to prefer and therein adjudicate contractualism prior to anything else. He gives you clear logic behind it. He doesn't go after that. The point of true money frame normally comes prior to, but even beyond that, let's go down to go through, extend the argument as well as a meta. I think that means I'm inherently coming prior to the clear justification there. Then let's go down to contention level at the point of which I shoot, it's a clear neg ballot. I'm showing you that we're putting in people on unequal footing at the point of which I shoot. I state in the case it's a clear neg ballot if he doesn't go after this at the point of which that's true, and I extend this argument cleanly in the fact that that's a clear neg ballot. So, thus, I urge negative ballot.
Okay, no prep starting now.
The round break very simply. You are consisting literally all theory from the top. Extend the interpretation, even if you have a counterpoint, even if you're taking out of the you don't specify the status of the counterpoint. So I automatically equal to something that's unconditional. Also, so then extend the interpretation. They must be an opposite more different. Extend that you're violating because not even if not you just fit a counterpoint. Extend the ground minus ground based on the key for speech form speech forms are also a fairness key or a fairness key because unfair a fairness because unfair arguments are based you were about to extend that you want to be the only extend drop beta returns future basis. In this case, and the series matter of drop beta, which means that you are clearly losing. Also, extend the iteration. They must make SAS blocks from you violates because you do not have something in the NC that specifically says whether or not you defend a SAS block system or which means you need to defend a specific country that does opt in. So. Extend. So that means extend. Because there are infinite number of potential alternatives during key frames because your prep. That means that here's how the round breaks down. You can vote right there because literally you're conceding the entire all the ACs. So first you can vote off the neg must defend an opt-in system. You're violating that piece of the counter plan. You're also conceding it's a matter of drop beta. Second way I can win is also you're conceding that neg must defend a SAS opt-in system or clear means it excludes the entirety of the AAC. Also extend that neg must also extend the interpretation. This is the third way I can win that neg must be morally permissible for a just side to presume consent. And that means that you are violating that because you have permissible arguments in the NC, which means that's also a matter of drop beta. Also extend that you presume AF. So even if you trigger presumption, which you can't because you just have to end your speech, then that means you still presume AF anyway. Also you're conceding that shorts and we can't act, we need physical experience for knowledge that excludes all the contract carrying some arguments. Also, so I'm killing you on theory. You are literally dropping theory. You just extend the NC, but you deal with like 5 seconds on theory.
Okay, just comments before Chris. I'm gonna go Chris first.
No, that's fine.
Okay, Chris. Chris. First thing, fishing for violations and cross-links. This is a very easy violation. Okay, you should be able to explain what a permissibility trigger is. Okay, what you should say is, are there any arguments that if I put defense on the neg framework, would you be able to escape? Would you be able to claim terminal defense on both frameworks and then negate on permissibility? Like, just explain the permissibility triggers. And even if you don't, it still seems you get a violation. So I don't know why you wasted time on that if you weren't going to get a violation with that anyways. And then the other thing is a lot of judges all right, if Ben and Yulin were judging you, you should have just extended one interp, one argument for one standard, one argument for fairness, and one reason to drop the debater, and then sat down. Because Ben Yulin would have he would have given you a 35. He could have. And the shall I would have gone for would have been the status quo one because he most clearly violates that one. So yeah, I mean that's all.
So what's the decision, guys? I gotta leave.
Good job, like the shovel.
Congrats to reaching the round 1 of the Millburn practice.
So prestigious.
I affirm on theory.
So, firm on theory. Yeah. What about you guys?
Yeah. Addressing theory is kind of a mistake.
Yeah.
And a one sentence I need.
You have to at
isn't
least
good
put
enough.
some defense on it because if you concede theory, it's already game
maybe
over.
Also,
you
Some-
could
something.
Also, it's like a false I mean, because if you actually specified, you should have said I do specify. I'll show it to you after the case. He asked me about it in cross-text, and I told him where I specified. But you didn't specify.
Oh no.
right?
Okay, that's okay.
Alright, see.
And